East. I want to take you out now, live, raw, and unfiltered, to the Gaza Strip, where we have Gaza resident Mansour Shouman standing by. He's been on the ground helping both his people and, he says, also for the entire world, as humanitarian aid is now slowly trickling into the Gaza Strip. But he has the latest on the ground. He's been reporting from there as well, even though he's just a Palestinian civilian. But I want to bring him in now to talk more about all of this. This also comes as internet connection has finally been restored after a blackout over the past couple of days. I know that one of our previously scheduled interviews got canceled because of that. Tell me, what's the situation now on the ground, Mansour, as you join us now on LiveNow from Fox?
Thank you, Giacomo, for having me, and hello to the audience, Fox News. Right now, we're entering into 43 days into this conflict. As reported by the government here, the Ministry of Health, over 13,000 have been killed, over 30,000 have been injured, many still under the rubble. Over 1.5 million Palestinians have been displaced. Unfortunately, despite what is being reported, the Rafah border is not allowing aid inside. It is basically more of a PR stunt, we believe. I've been here in Nasser Hospital in the south. We haven't seen anything since the Rafah border was opened. And even if, as they said, 1,000 trucks did come in, Gaza needs at least 500 trucks a day during normal non-war times. So how about after a month and a half, allowing this much in, including stuff such as gloves, coffin wraps, expired biscuits. Some trucks only had 1 or 2 pallets of stuff in them. So it's been 43 days of siege, of cutting off all electricity, cutting off water supplies. As the Israeli government said from the first day, these are 2.3 million animals. They do not deserve any electricity or water. We're cutting them off. There's no fuel being let in except the little bit that's been trickling in. Some of it was to feed the communication stations here. As you rightly said, communication was out for the 4th time since the beginning of this conflict. However, we thank God that some has come in so that we can report the news to reporters like yourself who want to also hear the other side of the story. Today here in Khan Yunis was the deadliest day since the start. We had at least 75 killed and dozens injured. The morgue is full. People right now who are dead are being lied upon side by side on the street beside the morgue. People cannot take them to their burial stations because it's too dangerous at night. We have to wait until the morning. Right now, Al-Shifa used to be the center of action for the world. I believe that soon Nasser Hospital will be. We currently have 35,000 refugees, in addition to now bringing in all the people who are at Al-Shifa, patients, doctors, and refugees. However, despite all the challenges, believe it or not, the morale of the people here on the ground is very high. We believe that we are at a historic point in mankind. We believe that the people in Palestine are at the tip of the spear when it comes to fighting for freedom, fighting for human beings in general. There's been a lot of darkness that has been going on for decades, and people here believe that together with the free people of the world, we will have change happening.
Now, Mansour, we had some images that came in. We also had just had firsthand account reports about these flyers being dropped in Khan Yunis. That's where Mansour lives, for the audience listening. That's in south central Gaza. Is there been evacuation warnings from the IDF, and what is your plan?
Yeah. So the flyers have never stopped. Right now, the flyers are asking the people who used to. So first, the flyers told the people in the north to go south because the south is safer. However, as per the latest numbers, 43% of the casualties were in the south versus the north. And every day, I personally see people who are dying here in front of me. Now there are flyers coming to people in the south to escape further south, to go closer to the Egyptian border, in a repeat of what happened in 1948 and 1967, trying to force the Palestinians away from the homes that they had lived in Jerusalem, in the West Bank, in what is now called Israel, in Asqalan, in Tel al-Rabi', in many of these cities, which my parents, which my wife's parents, which a lot of people, refugees here, have originally come from. Now they're trying to force people to go to Rafah border and to Egypt. However, the people here are saying no, not this time. We still have 500,000 Palestinians in the north not wanting to leave. We have hundreds of thousands in Gaza City not wanting to leave. And people here in Khan Yunis are saying the same. We are not leaving our home. We are not repeating the same mistake. We are going to continue to fight this fight together with the people of the free world against the Zionist regime.
And I know that, that is a bit of a statement that has certainly changed since the beginning of this conflict. And as this continues to move forward, we learned earlier this week Israeli forces took Al-Shifa hospital. They claim that there is a terrorist complex underneath the hospital, but have yet to show any proof of that. Your reaction to this, and what is your knowledge of that area?
I think it proves the failure of this Israeli government. I know that many of the Israeli people and civilians are against this war and against Netanyahu and his far-right government. They have claimed from the beginning that Al-Shifa is the main control center for Hamas and its militants. However, they've taken over Al-Shifa for many days now and have since not able to provide any substantial evidence of that, except a couple of videos which they quickly brought down after a couple of hours of people making fun of them, of how obviously, it's failure after failure. And they have lost the moral and media war here against the Palestinian people. People in Israel are against what the army is doing. People in the US are against what the army is doing. And people in the US are against what the US government is doing. We hope that the US government quickly revises its stance and sides on the right side of history this time. I have family in the US. I'm Canadian. We do not want a repeat of what happened to the forces in Afghanistan, in Vietnam, in Fallujah, in Mosul. Gaza City, only until now, after 43 days, 10% has tanks of the Israelis running above it during the day. During the night, they don't own anything in Gaza City. So them even thinking about moving south, people here laugh at that notion. Because still in the north, in Gaza City, all they're good at, it seems, is bombing civilian buildings and taking over civilian hospitals.
Now, do you believe that Hamas is operating there inside any of the hospitals? Is there any proof or evidence of that? And if so, what responsibility does Hamas bear?
I have family, my wife has family members who work in these hospitals. Al-Shifa is the hospital I used to take my kids to whenever they got sick, which is 300 meters away from my home. International doctors who worked there for many years, no one ever said that they ever felt the presence of Hamas or its militants or any tunnels or any command centers. We've never seen any of that. So again, it's upon the Israeli military and the US intelligence who claim the claims to provide the proof, to provide any kind of proof to show that. And I'm not from Hamas, I do not know, but I'm not seeing any proof except the civilians, the Palestinian civilians being killed every day with the world watching.
And it's a very serious situation there, and one that breaks your heart for anyone watching. The deaths of some 13,000 people certainly is not something that the questions will not stop in this, despite the Israeli effort to end Hamas, which is their message there. Mansour Shouman there.
Yeah. Can I just one very quick point? I mean, it's very difficult to be neutral in this situation, but let's try to be neutral here. The Israeli forces are claiming that they have two goals. One, to free their 220 plus hostages which were taken on October the 7th. And two, to dismantle Hamas. After 43 days, have they freed any hostages? They've actually killed 60 plus hostages by their own airstrikes. Did they dismantle Hamas? Until now, there is no proof that they dismantled Hamas. In fact, Hamas might be even getting stronger because the more people, the more civilians you kill, the more people want more revenge, and the more people may join Hamas. So the Israeli government is actually lying to its people. They are not succeeding in either of these objectives, and they're hurting their image, the image of the US. They're hurting their credibility in front of the eyes of everyone.
Absolutely, I can understand that situation there. Mansour, we're out of time here. Any closing thoughts as we let you go?
Thank you, Giacomo, for the opportunity. That's all. Thank you.
Absolutely. Mansour Shouman there, a Gaza resident, breaking down the latest on the ground, a growing humanitarian need there in Gaza. It's